Hey everybody, how's it going? This is going to be a ramble on Book 3, Extermination of the Horus Heresy series from Forgeworld. This book again incorporates 4 Space Marine legions, and those are the Iron Warriors, Imperial Fists, Alpha Legion, and Raven Guard. And by again 4 legions, I mean it's following that theme. The first 2 books each had 4 legions apiece, so there's this one. This book, in terms of timeline, happens after the job site massacre, and the Horus Heresy books from Forgeworld seem to be doing that. They are representing a timeline. The difference here is, unlike the first 2 books, which basically went ahead and followed a particular event on one planet, Isfin 3 for Book 1, Isfin 5 for Book 2, this one branches out for multiple fronts during the Horus Heresy. You could say this one is the Horus Heresy in earnest. Book 1 was the setup, the betrayal happening. The four leaders represented there fighting amongst themselves to purge their flock of those loyal to the Emperor. Book 2 is the job site massacre, where the true death of the heresy is revealed in earnest by showing the other traitor legions and crushing hard some of the loyalist legions of the Imperium. And now Book 3, we pushed beyond that, and we actually have the heresy happening in earnest. Battles erupting all over the galaxy, basically. So, that's Book 3, Extermination. This layout is the same. Fluff in the beginning and rules in the back. And again, we have the infamous AK symbol here, which could mean anything. Pretty cool little discussion in the comment sections on Book 2 I had with a viewer. And from what I can tell, in terms of that, is basically, we don't know. We'd have no idea who it is, actually, in terms of a name or anything like that. Or if it's even indeed a person and not an organization or something. But some cool theories thrown out there. Anyways, the way it's laid out is it references Istvin, of course, it was a big deal. And then we have the first of 3 real sections before we talk about the legions. Remember, I said they went over different battlefronts. We're not talking about one place where these 4 legions battle at the same time. We're talking about 3 different areas, actually. And this one is Paramar 5. This is where the Alpha Legion fight Loyalist Iron Warriors, actually. So that's what this does. It kind of goes over that. And it also talks about a little bit about the Titan Legions as well. So then, after that, what we see, and it goes over it through to its conclusion. Then we have Victory is Vengeance, where this is the Raven Guard surviving. This is the Raven Guard's tale, how they got off of Isfin 5. Which is pretty cool. And one thing I want to make a reference to is the cool job that Forgeworld does with all of their actual pictures of their models in a mock battle and stuff, to kind of portray a moment of time of a big battle or aftermath of a battle. And here you see you got their product displayed here, painted up, photo manipulated, and take the picture, probably some terrain or whatnot, then they put stuff in the background, they do smoke effects, and it makes it look like a battlefield, or the aftermath of a battlefield, and it does a good job. I really like that. Instead of just being all artwork, I like how they do this. It's almost like it's a gritty documentary style of what happened there, so that's kind of cool. Same thing here. So that's the Raven Guard, and this talks about the Mark 6 armor. But I'm counting this as one of the 3. Yes, we've been to Isfin 5 in Book 2, but as far as Book 3 goes, this is one of the 3 different areas. So the last one is the Battle of Fall, which is a naval battle, a big naval type of thing. Now, don't get your hopes up, any BFG fanatics. There's no real BFG rules or stuff in this, but it's a story about the battle of the Imperial Fists versus the Iron Warriors in space. A battle that I'm just going to say the Imperial Fists should have won, but that's how the fluff is written and stuff like that. If you don't know too much about the Battle of Fall, look it up. But or buy the book. But what we have here is some cool artwork of some of the ships. This is from the Iron Warrior side, and these are from the Imperial Fist side. So while it isn't necessarily rules or anything in that regard, it is some cool artwork nonetheless. And then we get into the legions. And what they do is the same format of fluff, then of them and their Primarch, and then some pictures. Now here we have an Imperial Fist from the Unification era, basically. Their old scheme, which is kind of cool. And it goes through and shows you different ways in which an Imperial Fist Legionaries have their armor painted up. And this can help you, like I said, in Book 2, in showing you ways to paint up your own force. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's not going to look exactly the same because ink versus paint is going to be different, but you could emulate this, put the black on this knee pad, put the black in the under armor sections here, type of deal, or have a black armored veteran assault Terminator, whatever it is. So pretty cool. And then we get the exemplary battles. Then we move on to the next Legion. So now we have the Alpha Legion, and they did a good job with the Alpha Legion. Very confusing, very confounding, very much lies and misdirection. Very much Alpha Legion. So pretty cool stuff there. And then we have representation of the Legion as well. And this one we get to see the different ways in which their color scheme and their look kind of varies a bit from Legionary to Legionary. So again, good stuff if you're going to paint up a Legion force of Alpha Legion. It gives you very good insight and inspiration. And then we move on to the Iron Warriors, who I'm a big fan of. And again, same deal. We also get the deal of kind of a Unification era Iron Warrior. If I can find them. Well, that's the Terminator. And again, you can see where you can place your chevrons and whatnot. And here we have a kind of a Unification era Iron Warrior. And you can see how he's different. He doesn't have their symbol or anything. And here we have an Iron Warrior with chevrons and the symbol and everything. So I like that they show you kind of what it looked like prior to becoming the Legion that we know of. Because some people have that I see on the interwebs have expressed interest in playing Unification era forces. So that's pretty cool. They even did this in Book 1 with, I believe, 1 or 2 of the Legions in there. But here they do it with 3 of the 4. So you get to see here Raven Guard stuff, and even now, or even in the Heresy, they did stuff with white, veteranship. And here we have one of their Unification era Legionaries, and you can see it's a dark gray, kind of Carcharodon colored. And the way they describe the fluff of the Legion and the Primarch stuff, and describe this dude, makes you kind of think for a second and go, you know what? That's interesting, and the possibility of this is whatever. So that's pretty cool. And then after the 4 Legions, we get to see 2 Titan Legions. We get to see the Legio Furians, which are kind of a yellow scheme. And then we get to see the Legio Griffonicus, which are kind of your regal, like blue silvery scheme. So, very well done. The rules in the back of the book are fantastic. They don't feel over the top and superior to the books that came before them. When you're doing a series like this, I feel it can be kind of easy to fall into the trap of the things that come out are the latest and greatest, and everything prior to that seem mediocre in comparison. But while certain Legions have definite advantages and disadvantages over other Legions for certain styles of play, they still feel relatively the same, pretty much on the same playing field. Same thing with their Primarchs. So that's pretty cool. We do see here, though, some representation of stuff. I mean, firstly, we see, I believe, the Primarch of the Iron Warriors can take a big super heavy tank as his own personal transport, which is kind of cool. But one of the things that I feel is going to be a bit difficult to do is represent their alternative Corax rule set for Isfin 5, when he's surviving there, his war gear's kind of broken, he has a heavy bolter as a rifle, and he goes into it. But now granted, the Corax model hasn't been made yet. I don't know if they're going to make it with that option in mind to create them as or not. But if they don't, it's going to be kind of weird to try and do that. You're going to have to do some clever conversions yourself, which I wouldn't do to such a model as a Primarch model, but maybe make your own model. But anyways, before I end this up, and this one has kind of gone a bit long, but It's a cool book, so that's okay, is the hidden gem in this book. The hidden gem, and there's something on the back in case you're wondering. The hidden gem in this book is the Mechanicum. Books 1 and 2 had some Mechanicum rule stuff in them, but they were separate from each other. Not saying they were separate Mechanicum rules, like two different Mechanicum stuff, it's just that they didn't transfer Book 1 stuff to Book 2 stuff. Here in Book 3, we have a full Mechanicum rule set. They took stuff from Book 1 and Book 2 and they built a full-on army list. So if you want to play Mechanicum in the Horus Heresy time period, or you just want rules to play your own Mechanicum force as for fun, Book 3 is the book to get, because it has everything you need to build a full-on Mechanicum army. So that's kind of the hidden gem of this series thus far. Anyways, that's it for Book 3. Book 4 has not been announced yet as of doing this ramble. I look forward to seeing what it will be once it is announced. And you can bet I'll be trying to get that book sooner rather than later once that book eventually comes out. Still waiting on some of my favorite legions out there. And I'm waiting to see, hopefully, some Custodian Guard stuff eventually. I'm hoping for a fully self-contained army of Custodian Guard as a possibility. Anyways, that's it for the Horus Heresy book series from Forgeworld. A great series to pick up, in all honesty, if you're a fan of this stuff. So I want to conclude this with a question. For you Horus Heresy fans out there, what legion are you A, waiting on, or B, what legion would you play? And if it's already out, fantastic. If not, what legion are you waiting on? I tried to combine wait and legion and it didn't work. So yeah, post it in the comments. Anyways, that's it. So until next time, take it easy.